Okay, so if you're having problems or you feel like you're sort of limited in one hip, or maybe that you're shifting to one side in a particular hip, maybe it's giving you pain, maybe it's not, maybe it just feels stiff or just limited in access. Well, you would think that if I have a limitation in my left hip, I should actually load the left side. Actually, it might not be the case. Obviously, the thought behind that being, if I load this left side, it's going to bring me across to my left side. Unfortunately, in certain instances, if you actually load that left side, you bias yourself to the right. You actually can cause yourself a natural shift back to the right. So actually, you're feeding the problem as opposed to addressing the problem. Well, if you put the weight in the opposite hand and address what you're doing in a slightly different manner, you will yield better results. So what I mean by that is, if we have a problem with our left hip, for example, and I find that I'm spending a little bit too much time on my right side than on my left side, we can actually bias ourselves to the back to the left by putting the weight in the right hand. And the way we do that is like so. Okay, so I'm going to use a front foot dominant exercise like the split squat, and I'm going to put the weight in my right side. And then what I'm going to do is cause a tiny little shift of the angle of the bell. Okay, and now what I've done is I've biased myself to the left and I've put myself in my left hip. Immediately I can feel my left glute and I can feel my left hamstrings and I can feel my whole left side. I can't feel my right side at all, which is because I'm actually in my left side, which is perfect. From here, we're just going to bang out a few repetitions, keeping that bell shifted over to this side, and we're just going to pop down and push off. Okay, and we're going to pop down and push off. All the while, I can feel my left side. I can't feel my right side, and I know that from this position, I'm purely accessing my left side, and I'm regaining that shift of balance or center of mass over to the affected side. Now, what happens when you want to do the other leg? Okay, so obviously you don't want to just train the left side, you need to train the right side as well. Well, you keep the weight on that side, because that allows me now, when I'm in this position here, when I go down, I'm engaging my right side absolutely, but actually I can push off and push back over to my left side. So if what I mean by that is if I come down, I can actually use this weight here and I can actually engage my right side to push back to my left side. So now by having the weight on the right side and loading the right side, I'm still restoring that shift to the left side. So the point being, if you have a limited left hip, you want to keep the weight in your right hand at all times and just manipulate what you're doing a little bit. Give it a go, see if it helps.